The news alert flashes, capturing the attention of viewers across the globe. It's a moment that signals a significant shift in the geopolitical landscape. The Philippines is set to assume the ASEAN chairmanship in 2026, a role that comes amid rising regional tensions and global uncertainties. This announcement is more than just a ceremonial change. It marks a pivotal moment for Southeast Asia. In newsrooms worldwide, analysts scramble to interpret what this means for Southeast Asia. The implications are vast, affecting everything from economic policies to security strategies. The announcement, made at the ASEAN summit in Kuala Lumpur, thrusts Manila into the spotlight. Leaders from across the region gather, aware of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. For the next year, the Philippines will lead the 10-nation bloc, navigating turbulent diplomatic waters. This leadership role is crucial, as it will shape the region's future in a time of uncertainty. In Malacañang Palace, senior officials gather, aware this is more than a ceremonial role, it's a test of leadership. The decisions made here will have lasting impacts on the region's stability and prosperity. The chairmanship is a platform to champion national interests, but it demands careful diplomacy. Balancing these interests with those of neighboring countries will be a delicate task. Every move will be scrutinized by global powers and ASEAN neighbors. The world is watching closely, eager to see how the Philippines will steer the bloc through these challenging times. The world is watching. Can the Philippines unite ASEAN, or will internal divisions stall progress? The stakes are high, and the pressure is immense. ASEAN has long been a pillar of regional stability, but that stability is now under threat. The Philippines' leadership will be crucial in maintaining unity and fostering cooperation. The US-China rivalry looms large, forcing smaller nations like the Philippines into a complex balancing act. Navigating these tensions will require skillful diplomacy and strategic foresight. For ordinary Filipinos, the outcomes will affect livelihoods, trade, and security. The nation's economic future is intertwined with its diplomatic success. As the Philippines prepares to lead, the nation stands at a crossroads, facing both opportunity and risk. The decisions made in the coming months will shape the country's trajectory for years to come. The story of 2026 is just beginning. The world watches with anticipation as the Philippines steps onto the world stage, ready to make its mark in history. The Philippines inherits a region fraught with tension, where every diplomatic move is watched closely by both neighbors and global powers. Nowhere is this more evident than in the South China Sea, a vast expanse of water dotted with disputed islands and crisscrossed by rival claims. Over the past year, ASEAN has struggled to find common ground, with member states deeply divided over how to respond to increasingly assertive actions in these contested waters. Some countries advocate for quiet diplomacy and engagement with China, hoping to avoid open confrontation and preserve economic ties. Others, like the Philippines and Vietnam, are calling for a much firmer stance, pushing back against what they see as encroachments on their sovereignty and maritime rights. The final summit communiqué, while outwardly unified, barely conceals the deep divisions and unresolved disputes simmering beneath the surface. The South China Sea remains a critical flashpoint, not just for the region, but for the world, as it is vital for global trade, energy supplies, and regional security. Recent incidents, such as Chinese Coast Guard ships using water cannons and swarms of maritime militia crowding disputed reefs, have only heightened tensions and raised the risk of miscalculation. For the Philippines, these provocations are not just distant headlines, they are direct threats to national sovereignty, the safety of Filipino sailors, and the livelihoods of coastal communities. The United States has responded by increasing its naval presence in the region, conducting freedom of navigation operations, while China accuses Washington of meddling in regional affairs and escalating tensions. Caught between these two superpowers, ASEAN nations are forced to walk a delicate tightrope, balancing their security needs with economic interests and the desire to maintain regional stability. As the Philippines steps into the chairmanship, it faces a landscape where old alliances are being tested, new power dynamics are emerging, and the pressure to lead has never been greater. The traditional ASEAN consensus model, once a source of strength, is now under severe strain, making it harder than ever to present a united front or take decisive action. Manila won't be starting with a clean slate. The stakes are already high, and every decision will be scrutinized by both friends and rivals. The future of the Indo-Pacific, and perhaps the balance of power in Asia, may well hinge on what happens next in these troubled waters. The ASEAN gavel passes to the Philippines, symbolizing a chance to shape the regional agenda. The chair's power lies in influence, setting priorities, hosting summits, and speaking for 670 million people. Manila can spotlight its concerns, advocate for a rules-based order, and lead the search for peaceful solutions. But the chair must be seen as fair, balancing national interests with regional unity. If Manila pushes only its own agenda, it risks deepening divisions. Success means building consensus, not confrontation. Progress in economic integration, climate action, and digital transformation can build trust. The chairmanship is a test of leadership, managing conflict and forging a shared vision for Southeast Asia. The Philippines faces a daunting and complex task, advancing the long-stalled code of conduct for the South China Sea, a region fraught with overlapping claims and rising tensions. As one of the most vocal stakeholders, Manila finds itself at the center of a diplomatic puzzle that has challenged the region for decades. For over 20 years, ASEAN and China have been locked in negotiations, yet progress remains painstakingly slow. Disagreements persist, and each round of talks seems to reveal new layers of complexity, with national interests often clashing behind closed doors. At the heart of the deadlock lies a fundamental question: should the code be a legally binding agreement with real consequences, or merely a symbolic gesture of goodwill with no teeth? ASEAN, including the Philippines, pushes for enforceable rules that would hold all parties accountable. In contrast, China prefers a more flexible arrangement, wary of restrictions that could limit its actions in contested waters. Another major sticking point is defining the code's geographic scope. This issue is deeply sensitive, as it touches on sovereignty claims that are fiercely protected by each nation, making compromise elusive. Manila's challenge is to facilitate compromise, encouraging dialogue and creative solutions, without pressuring member states to abandon their core national interests or principles. The longer these talks drag on, the greater the risk that realities on the ground, such as new construction or increased military presence, will shift the balance, making a meaningful agreement even harder to achieve. The Philippines must inject a sense of urgency into the process, persuading all sides that a stable and peaceful South China Sea is in everyone's best interest, not just for regional security, but for economic prosperity and the well-being of future generations. Ultimately, the Code of Conduct represents the region's best hope for lasting peace and cooperation, but only if it is substantive, effective, and respected by all parties involved. The world is watching closely, and Manila's ability to move these talks forward will shape not only its own reputation, but the future of the entire region. The Philippines must manage the US-China rivalry, a daily reality for ASEAN. As chair, Manila walks a tightrope: lean too far one way, risk alienating a partner; stay neutral, risk seeming weak. The US is a security ally, China, a top trading partner. Manila must create space for both powers to engage constructively at ASEAN forums. The rivalry also divides ASEAN internally, with some states closer to Beijing, others to Washington. The Philippines must bridge these divides and uphold ASEAN centrality, ensuring the bloc leads on regional issues. Success means ASEAN, not the superpowers, sets the agenda. Manila's challenge proves ASEAN is an active force for peace, not a bystander. The region's stability depends on it. Beyond security, the Philippines must strengthen ASEAN's economic resilience. Recent shocks, pandemic, supply chain disruptions, threaten the region's prosperity. As chair, Manila can push for deeper trade integration, cutting barriers and harmonizing standards. Diversifying supply chains and investing in new manufacturing hubs will spread opportunity and reduce risk. Inclusive growth is key, supporting small businesses and narrowing the rich-poor gap. A more integrated ASEAN means faster trade, more jobs, and shared prosperity. The Philippines can lead efforts to make the region's economy robust and equitable. Success here will be felt in everyday lives across Southeast Asia. Gray zone tactics, coercive but below open conflict, are a growing threat in the South China Sea. The Philippines faces these daily, from maritime militias to Coast Guard standoffs. As chair, Manila must build regional consensus on how to respond, even as not all ASEAN members are directly affected. Strengthening maritime cooperation, sharing information, joint training can help counter these tactics. Assertive transparency, publicizing incidents, raises the cost for aggressors and unites the region. The goal: make gray zone actions harder to deny and easier to confront collectively. Manila's leadership will be tested by its ability to rally ASEAN against this subtle but serious threat. The region's security depends on a united response. The Philippines must also guide ASEAN towards sustainability and digital innovation. Climate change threatens the region, while the digital economy offers new opportunities. Manila can champion renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and climate resilience. Leading digital transformation means setting standards for data privacy, cybersecurity, and expanding internet access. Green and digital agendas are intertwined. Technology can drive sustainability and inclusive growth. The Philippines can offer a positive vision, focusing on cooperation that benefits all. This agenda builds unity and delivers real improvements to millions. It's a chance for Manila to lead on issues where ASEAN's interests align. As 2026 ends, the Philippines' success will be measured by steady progress, not dramatic breakthroughs. A united, relevant ASEAN, able to manage US-China tensions and advance the code of conduct, will be the true test. Economic integration, maritime cooperation, and climate action will show in daily life and regional stability. Failure risks division, vulnerability, and lost prosperity. The chairmanship is a chance to prove diplomacy and cooperation can overcome even the toughest challenges. For the Philippines, it's a moment to lead and inspire. The legacy will be defined by the ability to navigate today's turbulence and chart a course for a peaceful, prosperous future. The next chapter in Southeast Asia's story is being written now.